In the twilight years, when solitude prevails, on your end, here's the action plan. Greetings. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Candle of Insight. Today, I'm excited to extend an invitation to you. Discover an emotional journey about mastering the art of embrace life completely, even in the face of loss and isolation in the golden years. This is the tale of Mark Thompson, a 62-year-old. A man faced with the challenge of confronting the challenges of aging personally, from the end of his career and the loss of his spouse, to his challenges with experiencing loneliness, from his grown children, his path demonstrates the incredible strength and the profound emotional richness one can uncover. When they decide to fully embrace every moment they continue to possess. Introducing Mark Thompson. And this year I celebrated 62 years. Prior to my retirement, I was employed at an agency dedicated to serving the public in this area. I've spent almost half my life in the United States. When our department experienced, I was asked to take an approach to restructuring, retiring early. Luckily, I have consistently embraced a modest lifestyle, which has allowed me to have some funds to depend on. The situation wasn't critical, but I definitely did not experience a sense of wealth. For a moment longer, I believed my life was just as it should be. Long ago, our home was brimming with coziness. My wife Anne, my son Adam, and my daughter Eva. As the years go by, as time went on, our household diminished. The children have both tied the knot and set off on their own journeys. Adam resides roughly 2 hours to the north with my wife and Eva reside in a different state, alongside her husband. A few years ago, my wife has passed away after a prolonged battle with illness. In what seemed like an instant, I found solitude in a house that once brimming with engagement. One evening, I found myself seated relaxing on the living room sofa. The stillness of the house appeared to permeate, a rush through my bones, accompanied by a sudden wave I felt the weight of loneliness descend upon me. At that moment, the phone rang. It was Adam. He had a certain resonance, hasty, as if he had intended to make the call. After days of waiting, I finally seized the opportunity. "Hello, Dad. Is it just you at home tonight? I wanted to swing by with Kate, but something unexpected arose at work, so I can't. I believe we can achieve this." I experienced a sharp sensation though faced with disappointment, I made an effort to comprehend the situation. After all, Adam leads a bustling life. Responsibilities to oversee and a career to navigate. To his family, I wasn't inclined to. "Don't worry about it, son. It's all good. No need to concern yourself with me. I'm managing just fine. My own." However, once the call concluded, I let out a deep breath. I found myself unable to resist the urge to experience a sense of the world progressing, absent from the equation. In a distant past, there existed a daily job to attend each morning and a loving family that required attention. At this point, as I approached retirement, I found myself in solitude with my reflections. My wife had left, along with my kids, were dispersed, creating their own prospects. The void continued to expand until it felt nearly palpable. Today, my neighbor, Mr., stopped by for a visit. Lewis. He's around my age and has a friendly demeanor. A companion who's consistently enjoyable to be around. During our conversation, he inquired, "Mark, you're the only one here." I simply nodded and remained silent. Calm. He let out a deep sigh. "I'm right there with you. My wife has passed away, and my children have. Their packed agendas. I understand what experiencing this loneliness is truly profound." Slipping in, listening to him express, that was as if a bruise is being pressed. It was painful, more than I was willing to acknowledge. However, it also experienced an unusual sensation, confirming we found ourselves in good company during our isolation. A multitude of older adults were confronting the same sorrow. Subsequently, he gazed directly into my eyes and spoke. That lingered in my mind for days. "We have arrived at a stage in life where contemplation is essential. Forward. If that day arrives when it's truly all by yourself in this vast house, what now? What will you do? Those words penetrated my thoughts like delicate thorns. I started to envision situations where I could genuinely exist, isolated, without anyone to converse with, no one to, please look after me if I become unwell. How will I handle this? This inquiry resonated. It's been swirling in my mind for days and evenings. Shortly thereafter, my daughter Ava made her payment. A brief visit, accompanied by my young granddaughter, wishing for a delightful, extended conversation. I even prepared a few of Eva's dishes, beloved treasures from our early years. Yet, the instant as she stepped through the door, she remarked, "Dad, I have just a moment to spare. I need to go pick up Ryan later. It's been wild." I can see the lines of concern on her face. She appeared overwhelmed, attempting to balance her career and her family responsibilities. Naturally, I desired not merely a hurried 15 minutes, but all I could express was, "That's perfectly all right, sweetheart. I'm doing all right." She took a bite of a handful of delightful morsels from my kitchen, collected just for you. She left with her daughter, giving me a reminder to take care. As I stand by the window, I observe them fade away down the street, experiencing emptiness. That evening, I found myself unable to sleep. As I lay in bed, my thoughts drifted back to Mr. Lewis's words, the concept of existing on my possess for eternity. I considered, I can't simply float along like this. After a few days, I proposed that Mr. Lewis and I enjoy a leisurely walk in the local park. We settled onto a bench, taking in the scene around us. As people walked past, I turned to him and expressed, "I've been reflecting deeply on your recent comments really stood out to me. Should we ultimately find ourselves isolated in our later years? How are we in control?" He nodded. "I have been considering that. There are several aspects. It's time to get ready. To start, it's essential that we ensure our finances are in order, sufficient savings to meet our own requirements, expenses like bills, groceries, and medical costs, so we're fully prepared." I absolutely. While wealth may not purchase true happiness, it certainly has its own value. If you haven't established the fundamentals, being old and alone can feel overwhelming, challenging. Therefore, I dedicated several days to exploring by analyzing my finances, calculating what I could be essential in the years ahead, including potential medical expenses. I understood that comprehensive planning was essential. Mr. Lewis went on to say, "Additionally, we can't depend on our children indefinitely. They lead their own lives, and at times they too distant to assist us at a moment's notice. We must stay as active as you can. Get moving and join us today. In group activities, ensure inclusivity and avoid any form of isolation." We made ourselves at home. It struck me that I had effectively built a wall around myself. After retirement, I spent my time watching TV, gazed at the barren walls, and seldom engaged in activities beyond my immediate surroundings. The door stood ajar, and with it, a sense of loneliness began to seep in, both in body and mind. Coming to this understanding, I've made the choice to transform my life. Each morning, I began visiting the park to jog. At the very least, incorporate some gentle stretches. In the evenings, I made my way to the community center to engage in chess or board games with companions. As I transitioned into retirement, I slowly began to forge new friendships, and my journey started to broaden your horizons. Yet there were evenings when the silence enveloped me, particularly. As I recline in bed, my eyes drift upwards towards I found myself pondering what would occur if I were to become seriously ill? Who will take care of me? Those thoughts linger, had me restless and awake through the night until 1. On that day, a fresh concept emerged, a partner for my golden years. The idea left me feeling torn. My wife had only departed a few years back. I concerned that I could be dishonoring her memory. However, as time passed, the feeling of loneliness intensified. It was intense. In time, I found the courage to confide in Mr. Lewis, paid close attention and expressed, "Mark, it's perfectly okay to desire companionship. At this stage in life, it's not regarding the search for someone to assist you or perform tasks, household tasks. It's all about finding that special someone to share stories to maintain the keeping loneliness at bay." His words provided relief. The weight of my guilt. Desiring a partner wasn't merely about showing a lack of respect for my late wife's memory. It was all about persevering and adoration. On a particular evening, engagements at the community center, I met Linda Brown, a welcoming and approachable woman, approximately my age. She, much like myself, embraced the solitude of living alone, as her children had relocated to various locations for employment. She was vibrant, cherished, embarking on day adventures, and appeared to rescue her existence. We connected instantly, swapping phone numbers and, before long, engaging in frequent conversations. In no time at all, we ended up at the grocery store, collaborating on exciting new recipes and enjoying morning strolls. As we close, pause and reflect on your journey. I'm David, honored to guide this vibrant adventure. Join Senior Health Star Subscribe for more inspiration. Thank you.